Hi everyone, welcome to the Module 5 overview video. Alright, so the title of this module is Privilege and Oppression Through Ableism and Sexism. Now, we're going to take what we learned in Module 4, really thinking about the dynamics of power, of oppression, of privilege and discrimination, which we all experience in different ways, and it shows up within our culture in multiple ways based on our intersectionality. Specifically this week, we're going to focus on ableism and sexism. And these two areas of focus, and I'm mindful saying these two isms, and I say that very compassionately and lightly, really impact a lot of us. And it's a powerful place for us to start and try and really make sense of what do we mean by privilege? What do we mean by access? What do we mean by power? So I think that you will find this really beneficial to go through these concepts through the lens of ableism and sexism. All right, let's go back in history just a little bit. And I mean just a little bit. 1975, that is when IDEA was passed. 1991, Americans with Disabilities Act was passed. It wasn't until 1991, 20-some years, right, after IDEA, where we fully were saying as a society, regardless of how you move through the world, regardless of disability, of ability, you are human and you have access and rights. This impacts us as teachers. This impacts the students that come into our classroom and the communities that we're able to create. And so through this module, you're going to view some particular powerful films and think back to your own experiences as a child, at times when you felt included, and times when you felt excluded, and link them now to your own work as an educator. With that, let's review the two assignments that correspond with this module. The first one is a read and respond. And if you recall from the last module where you really got an introduction into the case study analysis process, you're going to use that now in this particular module in chapters 7 through 9 that specifically focus on gender, disability, and sexual orientation. And these case studies that are going to impact our work as educators in the classroom and our own life experiences that add richness to our life. So that's something that I really want us to consider as we go through and we think about these cases. And you're going to see at the end of every chapter, there is a series of questions that you're going to be able to pose and think about. Pose to yourself and really think about, what would I do? How would I respond in this situation? What advice would I give to this particular educator? And so I think that you're going to find that really beneficial. And those have responses that you will submit to Canvas. The second assignment is a Flipgrid. And I made reference to it earlier in this video. You're going to be watching some pretty powerful videos, and the majority of them are for free. And I am so mindful about saying this part in a class where we're talking about access, because there's a film on Netflix called Crip Camp, and the link is in the module that you'll be able to watch. And I would highly recommend adding that if you do have, and I'm mindful saying this, access to Netflix. I will continue to see if I can get this movie for free so you all can watch it. But Crip Camp takes the beginning of these films, Lost in Laconia and Willowbrook, and then it kind of steps forward into the 1970s to frame the conversation of what I was talking about in the beginning of this video in terms of the history of where we are as a country, in terms of really thinking about all of us as humans and our ability to access opportunities in our life. So in the Flipgrid, you're going to think back to your own life at times where you felt incredibly included, part of, in a community where you were of value, an asset. And then I also want you to think about a time where you felt excluded, a time where you felt, I don't belong, a time where you felt, wow, this is really not a place that I feel is safe for me, or a place that I can thrive. You're going to share those stories in the Flipgrid and make connections to the films that you're going to watch as part of this module, because those films are filled with inclusion and exclusion opportunities, and really an opportunity for us to think deeply about who we are as humans, and as educators, of course. The supplemental resources in this particular module are, as always, I think, of benefit just in all the other modules. If you're interested in learning more about bringing in gender-based activities or gender non-biased activities into the classroom, there's a link there. As well as a video to the, it's kind of infamous now, the privilege activity, where you take a step forward or you take a step back based on certain statements that are read that are linked to privilege. And I share it because it is contentious. Some people say there's people that are really adamant that this exercise is powerful. It helps people learn and grow and really make sense of their privilege. And then there are many people that say that it is a deterrent, that it actually detracts, that it actually diminishes the power of these conversations that we're having. So it's in there for you as a reference. All right, everybody. As always, please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions. And I look forward to your Flipgrids and sharing more about each other and times when we have felt included and excluded in a time where we're trying to be inclusionary. So think about potentially this time, as I'm kind of adding onto my video, think about adding a video comment. I know it takes a little bit of time, but in your Flipgrid response, you'll see right next to where you can add a written comment, there's a little camera icon, and you can click right on that and leave a video comment. And that might be really powerful for this particular Flipgrid assignment where we're sharing stories that potentially are linked to some vulnerability. All right, everybody, it's such an honor to be in this class with all of you, exploring these concepts. And like I said earlier, and I'll say it again, don't hesitate to reach out with any